Loco.
Muy loco.
Dos palabras.
Is that right?
Dos
Does that make,
palabras.
no? In English, please.
Insane.
Just one word. Gut-wrenching.
Okay. I'll allow a hyphen.
It's a hyphen, but it's still a word. I feel like the first half of the season gave us an opportunity to experience Alexandria as the oasis in a very, very, very large world of the undead. The show was shot in a specific way with very, very high camera angles and wide shots to show that Alexandria was just a small safe haven. And then, of course, 3/4 of the way through the first half of the season, it was now no longer safe. So where we are in our story now is that the group has banded together. It's one cohesive society, and how they are going to proceed with just something as simple as surviving and existing and having a life is a lot of what we're going to explore in the second half of the season. It's very big where we're going with the show. It's the first time that we've had hope and that the future has not looked that bleak. There are relationships. There's a chance to exist and to survive and to move forward, not just for this week, but next month, next year.
I think that this show should go as long as the fans want it, and as long as the writers, the actors, and the crew bring their passion to the project like they always do. I think the moment that we don't feel that same passion, we don't feel that same drive, that's when you need to look at wrapping it up. But at the same time, I don't see that happening anytime soon. I think that, I've only been on 2 seasons, of course, but it seems astounding to me that, some of the folks who have been on since season 1, including Greg, still come to work giddy as all hell, just excited to be there. And I'm excited to be there. I know why I'm excited to be there, because I'm a fan of the show and I'm relatively new. But to see everyone who has been there since day one still bringing their A game, it's nothing short of inspiring. Yeah.
I think the Walking Dead world is populated with a tremendous number of twists and turns. Our story isn't linear. We explore very often different themes. Having a big cast like we do, we can go off and have an episode that just explores the relationships between 2 people. So I don't see the end anytime soon, specifically because of the fact that that we have a lot more story to tell. I think the end of the show will be Rick Grimes becomes president, and at that point, he's on the steps of the White House, which is not very far from Alexandria, I would like to add. So it could very possibly happen.
Is it just that Rick has gone insane and he believes that he's the president?
No, I think he could be the president. Do you not think, would you not vote for Rick Grimes?
I vote for Rick Grimes, yeah.
There you go, that's 2.
Rick Grimes 2016. He's better than the candidates out there right now.
The comic book is still going strong. I think if the show were to come to an end, it would probably be different than the way the graphic novel would end. Robert has talked quite a bit about the fact that he would have probably changed a few things and done a few things differently in the graphic novel. Now that he comes back, we've talked about a lot of elements of the show, and he was like, I don't know, I just did it because I thought it was cool. And now we're going back and we're exploring those things in the show, and they need to make sense from a dramatic standpoint. So I think we have a lot of opportunities ahead of us to just craft a great story, and I guarantee you that Robert will be on board with whatever great stuff we come up with, whether it's based solely on the graphic novel or whether it diverges a little.
Right, yeah. I mean, I think Aaron would probably save Eric. I think Aaron would absolutely save Eric, because he's risked his life for him several times over, and I don't think it would change anytime soon. But the actor Ross answering this question, I would say Aaron, because I love working on the show, and I never want to not be working on the show. Yeah.
Okay, I have a question. So, on the show, if a bad guy had a gun to Eric's head and said either him or all of Alexandria, what would Aaron do?
He'd probably say Eric, because he knows that Eric would not be able to live with that guilt either. You know, I think that Eric wouldn't be able to. You know, no, you know what I mean?
Those are great. That's good.
No, I think so. I mean, I think that both Aaron and Eric share the same, you know, kind of strangely like mind-boggling belief in humanity, and even if it means sacrificing themselves, they're both willing to do it. You know.
No, but much like our show, it dramatically puts you in very dark places. I remember reading the outlines for season 2, and after reading the first 8 outlines and it going on the entire search for Sophia and ending with her coming out of the barn, for 3 days I was looking around making sure that my kids were safe, and the show spotlights aspects of mankind and humanity that you may not really want to look at. So while we were talking, it was like that would be a horrible thing that would happen. But our world that we've established in The Walking Dead is the rules don't apply. Our rules of civilization now do not apply to the rules of The Walking Dead, and I think that's where a lot of the struggle and turmoil comes from. You know, in the beginning of episode 9, Negan's people basically said, listen, we usually start our conversations with just popping one of you guys right out of the gate. So, you know, it's a little awkward, but we just want you to know that we mean business. So in our society, that idea would be inhumane, horrific, and just absolutely insane. But in the world of The Walking Dead, it's not a terrible way to establish who's in control. I know you know this already, but I'm just looking at you while I say it. Okay, thank you. I appreciate that because I didn't know where to go from there. Without a doubt, we want to top ourselves every season. I also look at the makeup effects from the aspect of somebody who loves the show and what I would want to see on television each week. Traditionally in my career, I haven't had opportunities like this where I could go back and refine and revise characters and take what I've learned and make them better or make them more unique. But on The Walking Dead, every season we have that opportunity. Every season we have a chance to go back. I mean, what artist wouldn't want to go back and just maybe tweak something that they had done, or they'll watch, I know every episode that I've directed I watch, and there's always a couple little things that I think, God, one more take I could have just made just a little bit more of a difference. So on The Walking Dead, I have a great opportunity with my team to put things in front of viewers that have never been done on television before. There's never been a show like this on TV visually. Probably the closest would have been Star Trek, where you'd have a different alien race that you would come upon, and they'd glue a Danish to someone's forehead and put a wig on him, and that was an alien.
A Danish person?
No, a Danish, like a pastry.
Gotcha.
But that's a good question. So, sorry. Oh, I love you and hate you in the exact same moment, which is amazing.
I wouldn't like to die, but if I had
Microphone wrapped
to,
around you.
yeah, exactly, yeah. You know, I think very selfishly, as a fan of the show and also as someone who enjoys working on the show, selfishly, I don't want to die. But I also think that this show has always been about you know, keeping the story interesting, the bigger story of I mean, and I think back to like season 1 and 2, all of the various people that have been on the show, all the different survivors, very few of them are here now. I mean, that's the thing that I think makes the show so interesting and captivating. And I think for as long as it makes sense for my character to be on the show, to keep moving the plot line along, I want to be on. But if I had to go, man, I want a dignified death. I want a death that, you know, Aaron, all the work that he's done as a recruiter, bringing in the best of the best, the good people of the world that are left. I want that to mean something. I think that's, at the end of the day, we all want our work to have meant something. And I think for Aaron, he's put his entire life's work into saving people, whether that was in Africa before the apocalypse began, or certainly now in Alexandria. He wants to help people, and if that work actually has a greater impact outside of his own life, then that's worth it for him.
Well, that neurosurgeon doesn't know what I know. The way that we designed that specific effect was that the bullet hit the bone and ricocheted off of it and sent bone fragments into Carl's eye, effectively damaging his eye and blinding him. But he was not shot square in the eye. There was a deflection. So I thought you were going to say that there was a neurosurgeon who realized that if you reanimate a section of the brain, you can turn somebody into a zombie. That's where I was hoping we were going with that. So as much as I appreciate his dedication to trying to prove us wrong, he has failed, sadly and miserably, and should probably not watch the show anymore. But I think it's okay. I'm only kidding. They'll cut that part out.
I'm not going to cut it.
Oh,
I'm not going to cut.
he's going to call me. My dad's a doctor. Wait, hold on. So my dad is a physician, and of course, very often on the show, I consult with him. That is one of the reasons why a lot of the anatomy of the show looks accurate, because I studied pre-med and biology in college, and my father is a retired physician. So every once in a while, like when Lori had her C-section, we consulted with him for medical accuracy. So in regards to Carl's wound, my dad did not call me and tell me that we did it wrong. So I rest assured that we did it right.